Hi guys, how are we doing today? My name is McCry Stuhlin, and I'd like to welcome you to this podcast, Crafting with Crow. Here we make a project from Native Crow Taxidermy and Oddities LLC. These are a few places you could find me. Facebook under Native Crow. I do have an Etsy shop where I sell all my products that I make on all these videos and just other projects I make on the side. And then I also have an Instagram account. You can check me out there. Like me, share me, follow me, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more fun stuff like this. So today we're going to work on a raccoon skull. I've already started on it. I made some mushrooms and attached them onto the sides here and started painting on them. So we're going to finish up this project and get it ready for listing. Alright, so just a brief touch up on me and who I am and what I do. I've always been somebody who's really loved animals. Like, ever since I was a kid growing up, I've always been fascinated in the movie with the animals or the book with the animals or watching Animal Planet and just anything that had anything to do with animals. I remember going to auctions and garage sales and stuff like that and looking for anything that related to animals, whether that be stuffed animals or artwork that included them, or even taxidermy. I've always been a big fan of taxidermy, and I think it's just because it captures and preserves the animal that was once living so perfectly. It like keeps it alive pretty much in everlasting beauty. And I think that's why I chose to pursue this kind of artwork like I did. This is also something that I got to bond with my dad over because he had a lot of knowledge and working with animal hides and stuff like that. The first hide that we worked on together was a deer. My uncle had hunted it and allowed me to skin it so that I could preserve its fur, and that's something that I took to my dad's house and we worked on together, and that was kind of the start of something that's now become a small business of mine and a passion of mine. And I'm somebody who does not like to allow anything to go to waste. I like to be resourceful in every way that I can, which is why I do work with the skeletal remains as well as the pelts of the animal. And however I can preserve it to make it something beautiful that you might want to set on your shelf or hang on your wall or keep long term to look at and cherish and love. That's kind of my mission. I want to make that happen and preserve the deceased and this everlasting beauty and give it the chance to be loved for decades to come. So I got these two mushrooms painted up. I want to center this on here and add some moss and flowers to it, because that little eardrum cavity busted there. I'm going to add a little bit of moss on the underside here to kind of help prop it up and level it as it's sitting on here, so it's not wanting to lean. And I'm just going to add some more glue in places where I want it to have the contact and sit. So I like to use the E6000 glue on my projects because it does have quite the grip. I'm going to set this on there. And I have this geode here. I like to incorporate natural geodes and gemstones, as much natural beauty as I can. That's something I work to achieve. I'll put the glue on the contact points. And place it where I want it. I'll take some of my moss here and kind of place it around it to make it pop. And make it look like it's just hanging out in the moss. Creating artwork with the bones and the taxidermy. In some cases I'll do like a whimsical feeling taxidermy. In some cases I will make it look a little more natural and realistic. I'm trying to appeal to all kinds of people who collect taxidermy. You have some people that prefer for it to have a little more character and be a little more unique and have that kind of whimsical feel to it. And then in some cases, some people prefer for it to be more realistic, like it just popped out of nature and stuck to the wall type of thing. And I like that kind of stuff too. I like to add a lot of color to my pieces, like this. Kind of give it a little more variety, a little more to look at. And honestly, purple is my favorite color, so that's the one that I end up gravitating towards a lot of the time. So I'll just kind of start gluing some stuff in place here. I always wanted to work in an area or do something that I really enjoy, and I feel like working with animals has always drawn me in. I've volunteered with wild animal rescue and rehabilitation over a few years, and I really enjoy doing that. And I have worked at a veterinary clinic before. I did that for about 2 years, and I really liked it. I just feel like it's a lot of added stress and a lot of heartache when you can't save the animal. But that is all part of it. unfortunately. There's always an end to these lives, and in most cases the owner is going to outlive the pet, and you just have to do what you can do to make them feel better and give them as much peace and comfort as you can. I've thought about opening up taxidermy for deceased pets. I'll have to look into my options for that, but let me know if you guys think that would be a good idea or not, if that's anything that you might have any interest in. And again, you could check out some of my listed taxidermy projects at my Etsy shop under Native Crow Oddities. I have just a few of them listed on there. Primarily possums and raccoons and squirrels and stuff like that. But yeah, I've thought about opening up to doing deceased pets as well, just in case an owner wants a little more than just their ashes in an urn. If they'd rather have the touch and feel of their pet as they lie in bed at night. Sometimes I feel like that's where your connection is feeling them and feeling like you're close to them in the comfort of your home. And it's something I feel I plan to do with some of my pets when they go. I'm someone who, again, loves animals and has rescued so many over the years. And sometimes it's hard to say goodbye. Maybe if there's a way that you don't have to fully say goodbye, that would make it a little bit easier. But yeah, you have to let me know what you guys think about that. So something I like to include in most of my pieces is a little snail that I have handcrafted. Let me see. I use a real snail shell, and then I use the same material that I've used to make these mushrooms, and that is this UV clear putty. It's used in the fingernail department, but I use it to mold my mushrooms and mold the body of the snails. And then I will slap it under a UV light to cure it so that it could be applied to my pieces. So that snail I'm just gonna pop on that mushroom there. Make it look like it's just crawling around. And I feel like we could probably use just a little bit of moss up here. Okay. I feel like a lot of people really like the raccoon art too. Raccoons are just such cute and interesting little creatures. I have plenty of raccoon art to share with you guys. couple crystals down here maybe. Slap some moss in here. Kind of get in touch with our creative side here. Start to form a masterpiece together. Now I did use these artificial ferns with the purple tips. I prefer to use artificial flowers on pieces that are going to hang on the wall or be out on a shelf, or just things that are going to be exposed to the surrounding environment. Anything that goes in a dome, I will use real flowers. I prefer to use real flowers, but I feel like in these cases, with it being out in the open, it's better to use artificial because they will hold up over time a little bit longer. So that's why I choose to do that. Here. I put in just a little bit more moss. I think that's looking pretty good. So I'll add in these crystals here, a little bit more moss on it. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, looks pretty good. Alright guys, well, if you like this episode and you want to see more like it or more similar to it, you could subscribe to my channel, hit the little bell key that you see at the bottom there, and that'll help notify you anytime I've uploaded a new video. I'll be uploading Crafting with Crow every Wednesday, and everything freaky full of mystery will be uploaded every Friday. Thank you for tuning in and watching with me, joining me in my project, and I hope to see you guys again next week. Thank you. Bye guys.